Building a dance floor. Now, this is probably one of the most asked questions ever. Like, how do you build a dance floor? How do you get people dancing? And I'm going to try and just give you the ultimate guide on how to do that from my knowledge. So I'm going to leave everything that I'm going to go through on the screen right now. So the first thing is kind of understanding your audience. Now, you're going to get booked for a DJ set, whether it's a residency or it's an event, and you kind of need to know who you're playing to. Now, a lot of people will say to me, oh, how will I know until I get there? But you can kind of gather beforehand. So obviously, if you're booked for an R&B event or a hip-hop event, you know that you need to have R&B and hip-hop music. Or if you're going to be DJing a local bar, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a range of people from 18 years old up until 65, 70, because there might be hen-dos, there might be mums that haven't come out in years. So you kind of need to figure out who you think you're going to play to. Now, what I used to do, so obviously you don't know who's going to be there until you get there, but what I used to do is I used to go onto the Facebook pages of the clubs and stuff and kind of look at the videos, because you can kind of figure out who's there from a few of the videos and the music that's already being played. So a few of the videos that I heard was like, All I Do Is Win, and just your casual commercial music. So I knew when I was going to my first residency, so my first residency was Walkabout Reading. I got booked for that. And then I was like, oh my God. Because the thing is, when you're a brand new DJ, right, you want all these bookings. You want these bookings. And then when they actually come through, you're like, oh my God, I'm not ready. Yeah. So when I got booked, I did panic a little bit, because I was hassling clubs. I was emailing. I was messaging so many clubs, yeah. And one actually come back to me, and I was like, oh my God. So I went onto the Facebook pages and I saw them playing All I Do Is Win and then a few other commercial hip hop tracks. So I kind of thought, you know what, it's going to be a commercial kind of venue. So let me download some commercial tracks and then go from there. So yeah, Facebook videos are quite good. Obviously, if you know people that go to there already, you can kind of ask them what they play. Or if you have a chance to go down there before your set, go down there. Like, I know it's quite lonely to just turn up at a club or a bar on your own, but if you need to do your research like that, then do your research like that. So yeah, I would just say look at Facebook videos or Instagram videos or Instagram highlights and stuff like that, trying to get a feel of what's in the club. And then when you kind of just need to figure it out as you go along. So you're gonna get there, you're not gonna know fully before you get there. So you get there and you start playing, and then this is when you start kind of figuring out the crowd. So you start, and then what I do is I kind of just people watch. You kind of can tell what music people like just by looking at them. So yeah, so when you're DJing your first set, or you're trying to figure out your audience, just watch people, innit? Don't be creepy, just watch people. And just try and figure out what they want to hear, and then play a few songs and see what they react to. Then you kind of start to figure out what the crowd wants, and then you can kind of go from there. But yeah, it's all try and error. Like, you'll do your first DJ, like say for example you're a resident DJ and you're going to be there every week. So say for example you've got a residency every Saturday. You're going to go there the first Saturday, and this is going to be your trial and error period. You're going to try a few things, and you're going to see things that will work and things that don't. So then when you go back your second time, you're going to know what to play and what not to play. So I would just say, don't panic straight away when you first kind of like get booked. Go there, figure out your crowd. Once you know your crowd, it will be a lot easier. Now, a lot of people will say to me, oh, there's different people in there every week. But there's different people in there every week, but the venue and the majority of the people are going to want the same kind of thing in it. So if your audience is more of a younger crowd, you're going to have to play more of the TikTok stuff and more of the urban stuff. But obviously if you go somewhere and it's more of like a older crowd, then you got to play some more older music. But you'll figure that out as you go along. Once you know your crowd, this is the next thing in building a dance floor, is you need to set the tone. So a lot of DJs will get overexcited and kind of jump in too quickly. So you need to set the tone, so you need to set the mood of the night. So when you start, right, you can't go in too hard, because this is what's going to happen. You're gonna go there and no one's gonna be in there. There might be a few people in there ready to dance, but you don't wanna start the dance floor too soon, because you will run out of music. I guarantee you as a DJ will say to yourself, in your career, I'm going to run out of music. I am running out of music, yeah. So you don't wanna start too early. So imagine this, right? You set up, it's 9 p.m. The club is empty and you're playing a few tracks, right? Then, I don't know, 2 groups of girls come in, quite drunk from another party they've just come to, and they want to dance. Yes, you can play songs to get them dancing, but you don't want to play your main tracks to get them dancing, because what if you play those tracks, they come off the dance floor, then no one comes into the club for another, I don't know, 50 minutes. Like, you started it, right? But then you kind of got to come back out of it. And I like, as me as a DJ, once I start a section, I find it really hard to get out of it. So say for example, I start a main set, I find it really hard to go back to warm up if the crowd dies down again, because I feel like, oh, I'm at a stage, I don't want to go back, I want to carry on going forward. But I'll talk about that later on. But you need to kind of pace yourself and set the tone at the start. Otherwise, you are going to struggle, right? And I don't know about you, but the amount of times I've heard, oh, the warm-up DJ didn't do his job, the warm-up DJ this, the warm-up DJ didn't that. The reason why the warm-up DJ didn't do his job is because he got too excited because people came on the dance floor and started playing the bangers when the bangers weren't ready. Right? You need to take your time when you're building the dance floor. Building the dance floor is all about, like, it's all a journey. If you're DJing from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m., you have 6 hours, right, to keep the crowd happy. Now, when you're playing for 6 hours, yeah, those 6 hours are going to drag, and you got a lot of music to fill in that time. So you need to pace yourself. If you go in too quickly, you're going to struggle. So at the start of your DJ set, set the tone, just chill. You're in control of the music. Don't forget that. Like, I think a lot of people think that the crowd controls you. You control the crowd, right? You're the one that will get them dancing. You're the one that can lower the tone of the night for them to go to the bar. You're the one that starts the bangers to get them all excited. You are in control, so don't let the crowd peer pressure you into going in too fast in your DJ set. Set the tone. Stay nice and chilled. I know it's hard. As a DJ, it is very pressure. Like, you start to see people come on the dance floor and you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Just take your time, man. Take your time, and I guarantee your DJ set will be a lot better. If you rush your DJ set, yeah, I guarantee you're going to be stressed. You're going to be sweating. You're going to be panicking. And that's just not good for any DJ. So once you've set the tone, it's now time to kind of gradually build it up. So you need to go from opening set to warm-up set to main set, to then like a calmer main set, then a more energetic main set, and then I'll talk about this in a bit. The way I do my DJ sets is I start with opening tracks. So opening tracks are just low energy tracks that no one really knows. So opening tracks are just tracks that you like yourself. So for me, when I start my DJ set, yeah, to get me in the mood and get me all warmed up, I like to play old school R&B. And obviously there's old school R&B that you can play main set or warm up, but there are going to be some old school R&B tracks that you can play at the start of the set that no one knows. You know, all like your album cuts from albums that the tracks didn't really get much attention, like just random cuts. So say for example, you're playing some Usher, you can play one of his tracks from his 8701 album. No one will know that. So you play that at the start. It's all nice, calm music. No one really knows it. And you're playing to an empty room. And then from opening, you need to go to warm up. Now, you need to gradually get into warm up, in my opinion anyway. So the way I do it is I'll play opening tracks, and then I'll start to throw in a few girly tracks. So in order to build a dance floor, you need to get the girls on the dance floor. If there's no girls on the dance floor, you will not have a dance floor, right? So take that bit of advice from me now. So what I'll do is I'll throw a few Beyonce tracks, a few Rihanna tracks onto the dance floor, and then you'll start to see crowds start to fill up. But don't get too excited. Just play some of these tracks. You're gonna get the girls dancing. You're gonna get the girls singing. And then gradually, girls are gonna start building the dance floor. So you're just starting your warm up. So you're gradually building into it, right? And then once the girls are on the dance floor, you need to kind of get the guys onto the dance floor. Now, the guys are not going to come on the dance floor to Beyonce Single Ladies or Beyonce Crazy in Love, because they don't really want to sing and dance to that. So you need to play some floor fillers, some club classics to get them on the dance floor. So a good example of a club classic track could be This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan, right? Say, for example, you played Single Ladies, you played Crazy in Love, right? And then you drop in This Is How We Do It. Now, all the guys at the edge of the dance floor are now going to come on the dance floor. So now you've got guys and girls on the dance floor. You don't want to go too crazy at this point, because this is when you're going to get too overexcited. You're going to see a dance floor, you're going to see everyone happy, and you as a DJ, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is it, man. This is the best thing ever. And then you might start your main set too early and you might mess it up. So you got the people on the dance floor, play a few tracks from your floor fillers crate. If you want to know what tracks I have in my floor fillers crate, check the link in the description down below. You want to build up the dance floor, you kind of want to just like play a few songs. So say for example, you play This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan. You might want to play Usher, Yeah. You might want to play Kevin Little, Turn Me On. You might want to play Hot in Here, Nelly. There's all these kind of tracks that can get everyone on the dance floor, right? And then it's time to kind of you know, get warm up really started. So then what I'll tend to do is I'll go up the BPM. So I'll go up the BPM range. So I'll go all the way up until, I don't know, 120 BPM, 130 BPM. So depending on where I'm playing, I'll play some house, some commercial tracks, because you want to play tracks that everyone knows to build the dance floor. You don't want to play too many random tracks because that might kill the dance floor. So you want to play some commercial tracks to build the dance floor, right? And you want to bring the energy up, right? So people on the dance floor now, and now you want to start bringing the energy up. So then you're gradually building your dance floor. Say for example, you get to 130 BPM or 140 BPM. It's probably time to kind of bring the energy down now. So you could carry on your warm up, but just play it at a slower BPM. So I would tend to go up to 140 and then switch it to 70 BPM, right? And a track at 70 BPM could be I Like It Like That, Cardi B, or something like that along that range. And then what I tend to do is just work down the BPM range. You go up and then work yourself down. So you'll build your dance floor with some club classics and stuff like that. And then once your dance floor is full and you've got to a certain time of the night, because you need to keep an eye on the time as well, because you don't want to start a main set too early, because you will run out of tracks and you'll feel like you can't play anything else apart from main set tracks. So play all your tracks, play all your Drakes, your Kanye Wests and all that stuff. Obviously if you're playing like R&B and hip hop. And then when it gets to about 1 p.m, peak of the night, when you start to see people getting drunk and really happy, then start throwing in the bangers. So you've gone from opening, warm up, then main set, right? And then what I tend to do with main set is like, I'll play some main set tracks, but then what you'll realize is like, some people don't really know the newer stuff. So you need to probably backtrack a little bit and maybe go back into your warm up. So I'll tend to go play some main set tracks and then play some warm up tracks, depending on where I am anyway. And then once you're done with main set, it's time to obviously wind down the night. So then energy was up, the peak of the night's happened, you got about half an hour to go. People are starting to leave already, but you really want them to leave by 3 a.m. because you want to go home, the staff want to go home, and what you don't want to do is have too much energy at the end of the night and then people start fighting and stuff like that. So then what you want to do is just play warm down tracks, some slower tracks, some sing-along tracks, and then by 3 o'clock you're done. That way, that's just how I kind of build my dance floor and stuff like that. Like the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Like me telling you like this now, you're probably thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do that. But once you start doing it over and over again, you'll find your way of doing things, and then eventually you'll just know it off by heart how to do it. At first you are going to struggle. You are going to struggle learning how to build the crowd, because you're going to think, I've not got enough songs, I can't do this. But over time you'll just get a lot better at it. The next thing is reading the room or reading the crowd. Now a lot of people say to me, how do you read the crowd? How do you know what to play? If you're really good at it, you just know, right? But okay, let me give you a few examples. So first of all, if you're reading the crowd and no one is on the dance floor, what do? You play tracks that you like yourself, because you're playing to no one. So you play your opening tracks, and then your dance floor starts to fill up, and then what you're going to start to see is a bunch of girls around their tables with a few of their drinks. And then at that point, you're like, okay, I need to get these girls dancing. But you don't want to start it too soon. So when there's no one in the club, there's no one in the club. When the girls come in first, what they tend to do is they'll walk in with their group of friends. They probably haven't seen them in a while because it's Saturday night. They've been working Monday to Friday. They probably had kids and stuff like that, so they haven't seen each other. They come on Saturday night and they come in and they want to get a drink and chat, right? You don't want to throw in Beyonce Single Ladies as soon as they walk in, because they're not ready yet. So just read that cue, right? Just look at that and be like, all right, so I'm not going to start it just yet. Maybe I'll give them a few songs to just tap their feet to, but don't go in too hard just yet. And then what they're going to do, they're going to drink their drinks, and then they're going to chat, and then they're going to go back to the bar again and repeat. Then eventually you're going to start to see the girls kind of singing and swaying, and then that's when you know they want to dance, right? So then that's a cue right there to start playing some girls songs. Now, it's not like, obviously reading the crowd takes a bit of practice, but it's common sense. If you see some girls kind of singing and nodding their head, you know to play more girls songs. And then once the girls are on the dance floor, the next thing you need to look out for is guys around the dance floor, because there's going to be guys there and they're not going to want to dance to girls songs. So once you see a couple guys around the dance floor, you need to think in your head, how do I get them to dance? So then you start playing some songs for the guys. Like I said, Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It, is a great song to get guys on the dance floor. From that, you're going to have girls and guys dancing on the dance floor. And then you kind of just need to take your time, read the crowd and just look at the time and be like, is it time to start main set or warm up properly yet? So you have a look at the crowd. Just take your time. Take your time. What you'll start to notice is the crowd will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you're going to start to see and hear certain reactions to certain genres and certain tracks. So say, for example, you're playing your warm up and you play a house track and the place erupts. You hear everyone go, oh, you know that people like house music. So go into your house crate and play some more house music. That's a cue, or that's an obvious sign that you should play that genre. If you play Surrounding No Games, play some commercial dancehall, then people will like that. It's just, you just watch the crowd and listen to the crowd, and you kind of just go off by what they do. As a DJ, you need to take risks. You throw some songs in. If some songs work, you play more of it. If some songs don't work, you know not to play any more of that. So reading the crowd is, it just takes time and experience. Like, don't think that like people just have it. Right? They've taken years and years of experience, and then eventually it's just obvious. Like, I think I can go to any DJ set right now and know exactly what to play. Once you've mastered that, what you then need to master is like what direction to go down during main set. So say, for example, I don't know, you're playing somewhere and there's a lot more people that love dancehall. Play more dancehall. You'll see it and you'll hear it on the dance floor. And also you'll have people coming up to you and being like, play this, play that, play that. And if people are constantly asking you for a certain genre and the crowd are loving it, play more of it, right? Reading the crowd isn't science. Actually, no, is it science? Reading the crowd isn't rocket science. It's not hard. You just need the experience and just need to do it over and over again to get used to it. Honestly, reading the crowd is quite straightforward, but like I said, like it's easy for me to say it because obviously I've been doing it for so many years. But for you, just take your time, right, and just practice. Or like literally, if you're struggling, okay, there's two things I want to talk to you about. If you're struggling to read the crowd, go to another DJ set and just sit there and just practice being the DJ and reading the crowd. Have a little listen to how the crowd are reacting to certain songs, and just watch some of the people, and then you'll kind of get a feel for it. Or if you can't go to the clubs, then go and listen to some DJ live mixes. That way you can kind of figure out like what songs are being played in the clubs. Now it's hot, you can't really read the crowd from a mix, but you can see what songs are being played in a club to a certain crowd and stuff like that. So yeah, man, like reading the crowd, it is difficult, but over time you'll get better at it. And then just to touch on this briefly, I did speak on it before, but like you need to just work on your timing and the pacing of the night. Because like I said, if you go in and start things too early, you're gonna struggle. Like if you start warm up too early, you might start the dance floor too early and then you're just not ready and you haven't got the tracks. Like it is purely about you and your pressure. If you start too early, you've now got a longer period to play to a crowd. And do you even have the music library for that? Especially as a brand new DJ. Like if I'm talking to if you're a veteran right now, then you understand. But like if you're a brand new DJ, if you start too early, you will struggle. You will be panicking, trust me. So I'm not gonna touch on this too much. Just take your time, take your time. Easier said than done, but just take your time with things, because if you start too soon, you're gonna start stressing, your beat matching is gonna be terrible, and the last thing you wanna do is mess up a mix and anyone notice, because you're gonna get booed. And being booed as a DJ is not a good thing. So the next thing is mixing techniques. Now, when you're in a club, right, what you need to understand is the crowd that you're playing to aren't DJs. And you really need to understand this, because as a DJ, you want to be showing off and doing all your skills, your tricks and stuff like that, but the crowd don't care about it. The crowd just want to hear the songs like they hear on the radio. When you're mixing, I would say keep it very, very simple. Now, if you know about beats, bars and phrases, then you'll know what I'm going to talk about in a minute. If you don't, check the link in the description down below. So keep your mixes very, very simple. So keep your mixes to 4-bar mixing, 8-bar mixing, and 16-bar mixing. Just when you just mix and blend the tracks over a certain period of time. Now, that kind of mixing can get boring for a veteran DJ, but as a beginner DJ, keep it really simple, because you're gonna notice, like, if you start doing too much mad stuff, the crowd are gonna be like, "What is this DJ doing? We just want to listen to the music." Now, you can do all the blends and mixing and stuff like that, and you can also drop songs on the one. If you don't know what dropping a song on the one is, it's literally just finding the start of the track and just scratching it in and dropping it. Like, that is a good way if you can do it good. If you're not good at it, don't do it. But yeah, when you're mixing in the club, just keep it basic, especially at the start of your career. Keep it really basic, because if you start making things complicated, right, you're gonna stress yourself out. Because I've been there a few times where I've gone to do something complicated or a trick in a club, and just before I go and do it, my heart starts to pound like this, and then then I'll end up messing it up because I'm so nervous. So when you've started DJing, right, and when you're starting your DJ career, start simple. Once you master the techers and you get really good at it, then you can start doing some mad stuff. But I'm not going to talk about the mad stuff in this video because this is for beginner DJs. But my advice to you, when you're mixing to a crowd and starting trying to build a dance floor, take your time. Take your time. Now, this one is very difficult, because as a brand new DJ, using the microphone is probably going to be one of your biggest fears. A lot of DJs I know are introverts, right? The thought of talking to a crowd of 100, 200 people on the microphone whilst you're on stage on your own is the biggest fear of your life. It was the biggest fear of mine. I'm a very quiet person. I'm not really quiet on YouTube, but it's a bit different. Like, I'm talking to a camera. No one else is in this room, and so it's nothing. But when you're on a stage and you've got to talk to a crowd, it is one of the most scariest things in the world. But in order to build your dance floor, and I feel like, in order to be a really good DJ and to build a dance floor effectively, you need to learn how to use the microphone. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be on the microphone every 10 minutes and be like, party people, this and that, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You just need to say certain things to get people interacting with you, and just to make the people know that you're there. So it's funny because you want to be known as a DJ. You want everyone to know your DJ name, but when you go DJ, you don't say anything. You don't announce who you are. Like, okay, you might have your DJ logo on the back of your laptop, but like, no one really knows who you are unless you say it. So if you want to be known, and you want to be known very well, talk in the microphone. I'll just say random things just to interact with the crowd, like, who's having a birthday tonight? If you're inside celebrating a birthday, say yeah. Just certain things like that will just get the crowd interacting with you. And then I'll just say random things before I drop songs. And like, I can, you know what? I'm gonna do another video on the ultimate guide onto how to use a microphone as a DJ, because it is really difficult. But what you need to realize is no one actually cares what you sound like. Like, what you're thinking is, oh, I hate my voice on a microphone. Like, when I first started recording these YouTube videos, when I had to edit these back, I hated my voice, but you need to get over it. When you're DJing, no one cares what you sound like, right? No one cares what you sound like. But if you are not confident, or you're mumbling on the microphone like this and da-da-da, then you're gonna sound silly. So stand up, spread your chest, and just be like, I don't know, say something like, how's everyone doing tonight? Now, what you need to do is own that, right? So say, for example, you say, how are people doing tonight? And you get a minor response. Own it and be like, I didn't hear you lot. How's everyone doing tonight? And then the next one, you'll get, oh yeah, good. Do you know what I mean? So you are gonna be nervous when you first do it, but what I would say is every single DJ set, plan to say one thing, right? And then the next DJ set, say another thing on top of that. So by the end of 7 DJ sets, you'll be saying 7 things, right? I'm gonna give you a task as a DJ, right? When you next go to your DJ set, bring the volume down and just say, how's everyone in the building doing tonight? You might get a quiet response, but then just say, that wasn't good enough. How's everyone doing tonight? And then you're gonna get, yeah. Do that over and over and over, and eventually you're not gonna care. You think I care when I pick up the microphone now? I kind of just stare into space and talk. Like, I try not to look at people directly, because that's when you get a bit awkward. But just, you know, just look somewhere else. Just look into the crowd, look around. Just don't look directly at people, and you'll be a lot better. But it is really important to use the microphone as a DJ. It will help you with your DJ sets, and it will get you known a lot more, especially if you're DJing in a residency. If you say your name and you interact with the crowd, you'll get known more, and more people will be more likely to come up to you. But then that's when I'm gonna get onto the next thing, which is how to handle requests. Now, handling requests is one of the most difficult things as a DJ. Now, some requests are good, some requests are bad. And when you first start, the last thing you want is someone coming up to you and saying, play this, play that. Like, when you get a little bit more experience, you know how to handle it. So what you're gonna have is, you're gonna be DJing, you're gonna be focusing, and then someone's gonna come up to you and say, can you play this? Can you play that? Play this, play that, play this. And it's the most annoying thing in the world. If you want me to do a video on the ultimate guide on how to handle requests, type in requests in the comments down below. You will get better at it. You'll learn to deal with people over time, but the first few times you get it, it's the most annoying thing in the world, because you know what the problem is you don't want to be rude to people, because they'll come up to you and they'll start chewing your ear or start talking to you, and you're gonna be like, oh God, go away. But you don't want to be like, go away, just leave me alone, because you want to be polite. It's a brand new DJ residency or whatever, brand new DJ set, so you want to try and be polite. So you end up being quite nice to them and be like, okay, I'll play your request. Then when you say okay, right, the moment you say okay, I want to play it, that's where you've gone wrong, right? Because they're gonna come up to you in 5 minutes time. Have you played my song yet? Can you play my song yet? Oh. Listen. It is difficult dealing with requests. I'm gonna do a whole video on it. How you handle requests is listen to the person and just nod. Just nod. And if they keep pestering you, just say, I'm working, I'll get to it in a minute, right? If they keep pestering you. Like, the more they pester you, just be like, you know what? The more you pester me, the less I'm gonna play it. Because eventually, when you start getting a bit more experience, you are gonna say to them, look, if you want me to play it, let me play it in my own time, right? Because they might want a song that's brand new, but it might be the start of your DJ set, and it's not the right time yet. But they don't understand that, but you understand that. So you have to tell them straight. You need to own it, right? So with requests, I'm gonna do a video on it, but it's gonna be hard at the start. You are gonna struggle, but over time you'll get better at it. So yeah, just have a look out for the request video I'm gonna do. And then the next thing you kind of need with building the dance floor is just getting feedback. So you'll do a DJ set and then you'll kind of gather from the crowd whether you've done well or not, because the crowd will still be there or the crowd will be gone. If you're DJing alongside another DJ, especially if they're a veteran DJ, really ask for their advice on how you did. Some DJs will be brutal and tell you did rubbish, so then you know to go home and improve and stuff like that. So when you're first starting, you start doing DJ sets, right? Just ask, honestly. The more you ask, the better you'll get. What I normally do as well, with a DJ set, I'll do a DJ set and then I'll go into the history. So in Serato, you can go to the history and you can see exactly what you played in what order. What I tend to do is I'll go into my history and see exactly what I played, and then I try and think, if I was to play this set again, what would I change? So I might take some songs out or put some songs in, move a section around and stuff like that. And I have done a video on how I analyze my set after my DJ sets, so check that link in the description down below. So yeah, so ask for feedback from peers, the bar staff, because the bar staff in your club and venue are gonna be there listening all night. So ask how you did and stuff like that. Ask the manager, but it will be really good if you have another DJ alongside you. I mean, it will be great to have me. It'll be great to have me in there, so I can be like, you should have done this. Like, I want to try and, like, I don't know, open up something where DJs send me their DJ mixes and I kind of critique it and tell them where to go better. If you want me to do something like that, type mix in the comments down below, because I can start something where you send me your DJ mixes, I listen to it and I tell you how you can do it better. If that's a good thing that you want me to do, yeah, write mix in the comments down below. But yeah, ask for feedback, ask people how you done, look at your own set. Over time, you'll just get a lot better at building a dance floor, because you'll look at your set when you go home and you'll be like, why did I play that? That song wouldn't build a dance floor. So yeah, man, it's all about trial and error, bettering yourself. And then the more you do it, the better you'll get. So yeah, like that's my ultimate guide on how to build a dance floor, people. Like, it's quite straightforward to me anyway, but as a brand new DJ, it is quite difficult. So I understand that. But I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos in this series on how to become a successful DJ. So yeah, so if you're interested in the next video, check this one out here.